over. Parents, are you struggling to recreate the SAT environment at home for your teen's practice test? Give me just 5 minutes and I'll show you effective ways to simulate the SAT testing environment so your teen feels ready for the actual thing. Okay? Guys, setting up the practice environment outside of the exam it takes very minimal effort. Okay, but it provides very huge benefits in the long run for the mental preparation. Okay, so guys, as a thank you for watching this video, I'm going to give you my SAT simulation checklist so you can see if your teen is simulating the exam effectively. All you need to do is drop a line below this video and I'll shoot it over to you in Messenger. Okay, for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Jared Wynn at geometrygurus.com, and I've helped hundreds of students increase their SAT scores by 100 points or more so that they can go to their dream colleges or qualify for scholarships. In every single video that I post, I talk about one actionable step that you can help your teen immediately apply to increase their score. Now family, let's get straight into it, okay? Step number one to simulate the exam is leave the house. Okay, I know this is a little counterintuitive, guys, but you got to make sure you're leaving the house whenever you're doing a practice exam, because by taking your teen out of the comfort of their own home, it's subconsciously going to put them in a different mindset that this is like, hey, this is something serious. Okay, so I suggest going to a library or a public space that's actually quiet. Okay, think about it. Think of how most students do practice exams right now, right? They just do it in the comfort of their own home, in their pajamas. Maybe they got some music in the background. Maybe their sisters in their ears singing music. I don't know, right? That's nothing like how they're actually going to be seeing it during the actual thing. Okay, so you'll be super surprised on what this small little tweak can do for your teen's mentality. Okay. Now, step number two is to wake up early for the practice exam and start the test at 8:15, just like how they're going to do it on the real exam. Okay. So again, this has a lot to do with step number one, but make sure that this is something you take seriously on the dot. Some of you parents have students who are in sports or in music. Okay. Have you guys ever heard the saying like, hey, you practice the way you play the way you practice? This is exactly how I want your team to be practicing for the SAT. Okay. Step number three, proctored and timed. Okay. Make sure that your teen's SAT practice exam is proctored and timed. Of course, ideally, that means that you need to have someone watching your teen to make sure that they aren't cheating, but in all reality, that's just not very possible for you, right? You guys are parents, you guys have a lot of things to do for most of the time, right? So this is not like, it's not going to be ideal to have someone actually there for you, right? Alternatively, what you can do and what I've seen works for my student is to make sure that the exam is at least camera proctored, okay? Camera proctoring tracks how many times your teen looks off the screen or goes off the page, okay? So this makes sure that your teen is actually focused, okay? They're not breaking focus on the exam, and it provides an aura that, hey, this is something serious, okay? Like something is actually watching them, just like how the actual SAT is done, okay? Because a lot of the students get nervous because, they have people watching them, they have people around them. I hope you guys see what I'm trying to tell you guys to do right here. We want to make sure that it feels like someone's watching them, because on the actual test, it actually is. Okay, so step number four, before I get into that, and of course, right, make sure that your teen is not going over the scheduled time limit for any modules, and they're taking the full scheduled breaks, okay, with no phones, and I'll get to that in a little bit, okay. If you're using the College Board Blue Book or a certified practice exam platform, then this part actually is not going to be an issue for you guys, because, it's going to time it for you, but it's also going to make sure that you take the breaks, okay. Now, step number four, guys, this should be obvious, no phones, okay. Phones, they're not allowed on the exam anyway, so why would you practice with them? Okay, very self-explanatory, guys. No phones, no distractions. There's no reason to have your phone out, and of course, it takes your mind out of the game. Okay, we want to do this exactly how we would do it in the actual test prep center, or not test prep center, but the exam center. Okay, step number five, and this is the most commonly overlooked: work with diagnostics that are slightly harder than the SAT. Or work on diagnostics that are slightly harder than the Blue Book, okay? Because this is a notorious thing that happens. Parents are like, oh, my son did a Blue Book exam, my daughter did a Blue Book exam, got a 1550, but then on the actual exam, they got an 1100. That happens way more times than you think. Here's why. The Blue Book exam, it doesn't actually, it doesn't simulate the difficulty of the exam, okay? And two, people aren't doing it in a test-like environment, which is what I showed you in steps 1 to 3. So of course the Blue Book isn't going to be a great tool, Okay, so that's the reason why you got to make sure you're using harder diagnostics, and this should not be a surprise. If you want something to feel super easy, we prepare for the worst case scenario. In this case, we want to over prepare for the difficulty of the exam. Okay, if we can do the most difficult problems with confidence, how do you think your teen is going to feel when they actually take the actual exam? Okay. Now, family, that is everything that you need to know to help simulate the exam environment outside of the test center. I hope this was helpful and valuable for you parents and for your teens as well. Now, again, if you want that SAT simulation checklist, make sure that you drop a comment under this video, and I'll personally reach out to you guys to make sure you guys receive it and make sure you guys know how to use it. Have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.